We've had a really hot June this year, and so my roses are just doing so beautifully. There's a really special one hiding in here. But because it's been so hot, the roses also felt all withered and died back a bit earlier than usual anyhow. So I've just cut back one of my favorite rose bushes. I'll show you how it looked just a little while ago. This rose bush is just so fantastic. It's called Eyes for You, and it just keeps on going. It started a few weeks ago, and it's usually still flowering by December. And it's got these wonderful, sweet smelling roses. And I've pruned it all back because then it should be able to flower again before too long. And we've got lots and lots of mess down here. So what I want to do, it's one of my favorite roses. I want to take a few cuttings here and get them growing because I want to give one to my sister-in-law and maybe also plant one elsewhere in the garden. It's always nice to have extra flowers, extra roses in particular. I'll just show you how I'm going to go about doing this. Look how many roses were on that one. Really beautiful. Okay, I'll just go take them over to where I'm going to put them into a pot. So we've got a good little pile of good size, very prickly bits of rose. Let me just get my gloves on and work on this. So I'll just get this compost, mixed compost, into some pots and strip these beautiful cuttings down and get them in. I also have some rooting powder which I'm going to use. This is a pot I've had for ages. I just looked at it and it went out of date back in 2018, but it still works. I've also actually done rose cuttings before without any rooting powder, so I'm not even sure if that rooting powder still works, but I still use it. Maybe I should get some new stuff. It's probably not as good as it would be if it was within date. But I'll just get this set up and I'll show you how I go about doing it. It's the most simple thing to take cuttings of, and it works so well. So I've got it all set up here. I've got my little cuttings, which are quite stripped. There's maybe a few leaves left there for a bit of photosynthesis. And I've got my rooting powder. And I've got my pot of compost. I've got a little stick here. Just going to make a hole here around the edge of the pot. Take my cutting. They're a bit tangled here. It's all the thorns. I got one there, a nice big one. Sticking it straight into the rooting hormone. It's an old pot. I'm not too precious with it, but you know, some people say to not do this. You should like pour some out, put it separately, but it's fine, I think. And so I put it straight into that hole I've made, pre-prepared, down like that. And I like to put it around the edges of the pot because then as the roots come out, they'll meet resistance and that will cause them to split, and then you get a really strong root system quicker than you would if the root just went down to the bottom of the pot and then split. I'll just do this with all of the little cuttings. Tap off any excess and pop them into my pre-made hole. I just need to make first in order to pop it in there. In it goes. I've got 3 little ones there now. They're evenly spaced. We're going to have lots in this pot. I might actually make 2 pots of this. These are just such beautiful roses. They have the most amazing smell too. And as you can see, they just have such really bunches of flowers that come out there. Really fantastic. It's really nice. I have it right by the door, so you just get all this buzzing of bees right there, and you just get the smell of the roses wafting into the house. So pretty. And because I've pruned it now, I should easily get lots more flowers. It's actually the one that just keeps on going all year. I have it, usually it's actually flowering like still in December. So it's probably a hardy one as well. It's definitely a good one to have. And one in the middle. There we go. So, a huge pot full of lovely rose cuttings, and I will leave them in there for a few months now, and they should just root and be ready by autumn. I'll probably repot them, but usually I leave them in the pot for until next spring, then I can actually put them into the garden or give them away or do whatever I want with them. But it's lovely to be able to just make as many copies as you want of your favorite roses. Here are some I made last year, and I haven't been treating them very kindly, so I kind of forgot about them. And I recently had to prune them down just to give them a bit of new energy, and I'm going to just repot them now, and then eventually I'll find out where I should put them. But these ones are really gorgeous too. Here is a beautiful, one of my favorite roses. It's an Old English tea rose. It has a wonderful scent and such beautiful colouring, I think. I took it as a cutting from our old house when we moved here. And I'm just so happy every time I see it come up every year. It's got lots of beautiful flower buds here. And those are the roots. You can see they've just been really trapped in there for a long time, but root bound. So I'm going to give them a nice big pot to grow into now. I think I will also split them up into two actually, because they don't need to be all there. And I'll see how they look in a second. So I've just potted them into two different pots and just given them a bit of extra space and nice new soil, so that should just help them. And then I will find somewhere else for them to be by the autumn. Let them sit here nicely in maybe a little bit of a shaded spot until they just settle into the new homes for a bit. But you can see how well the roots are taken, so they just really are so good to root. Just roses in general are really easy rooters. So I hope that helped. Let me know what you think, if you tried it before, and if you're going to try it on some of your favorite roses. It's definitely a really fun thing to do.